Lifting family, what's going on? Today's going to be more of a video review. I have two sets of wristbands that I got from my boy Chris with Contraband. I got the one version is a medium version of the tension of the wristband, and then the other version, medium version, kind of a little bit more of a less dense material, and then the heavy ones where kind of taking a little bit of takes a little bit to kind of get it compressed and pushed down. A lot thicker material. I don't normally use wristbands when I lift anything really. It's just something, it's more of a personal preference, but as the weights are getting heavier and as I'm transitioning more to like a low bar squat, I'm definitely going to need to be using wristbands. And even with heavier weights on bench press with a wider grip, wristbands are something that I will need to use. So I'm going to give these a video review today, show you some shots of putting on the bands and then using them for one of my top sets. So let's check it out. Alright, so here's the demonstration of how I'm putting on the wrist wraps. I really like to try to line that up in the middle of my wrist as far as that main piece of fabric, and then really get a solid tight wrap around my wrist. And as far as the USAPL, they require a thumbless wrist wrap, so you just have to remove the thumb wrap, which I do at the end here, and then you'll see the speeded up process of the right one. But locked in my wrist quite well. I really like the fabric. I really like the way that the tension is with these medium versions of the Contraband wrist wraps. The heavier version actually does feel quite well. It does keep solid wrist stabilization, especially under heavier weights. This here is 275, and I'm using the mediums here, and you can kind of see my sped up version of my setup. Really trying to make sure that my shoulders are tucked. Overall, it was actually interesting because I became less focused on my wrists and trying to make sure that my my hands were locked because of the wrist wraps. So I mean, obviously that's their benefit, but at the same time, again, I'm not used to using wrist wraps when I bench press. So I ended up having to I didn't really have to adjust to it. I was just, it flowed really well and it felt really well. Here is 295, and this is my top set. I am aiming for a top set of 4 here. I wasn't really sure how it would feel after that first one, so I try to make sure that I do a quick pause and then more of a touch and go for the remaining ones. But overall, it felt well. Thanks to Contraband for letting me try these wristbands out, and be sure to check them out at Contraband Sport.